As the birds sing and spring graces us with its presence, life appears to be on an upswing. You solace in marriage, cherish friendships, and go on epic adventures. Things are chill, and you're actually happy.
Kaioken, go Kaioken!
Then all of a sudden, like a hyper slap from God himself, shit hits the fan. Crops die and nothing seems to grow. Winter lingers, casting a shadow over all you've built. Friends you trusted betray you, and physical issues manifest like uninvited guests. You guys ever feel like this? Because I'm in it. So I've been away from this channel for a few months, and some of you may be wondering, Tom, where the hell you been? And I wish I could tell you that I've been away, keeping busy, working on projects, doing this, doing that. But the truth is, I've done absolutely nothing these last couple of months. Something happened in my brain where this old looming depression and addiction that I used to struggle so much with, like it's always kind of been there, like it goes away, then it's like, hey, how's it going, mate? And then it's like, it goes away. But for the last 5 years, I haven't had any like severe depressive symptoms. Maybe a few seasons of sadness here and there. Okay, cool, we're human. In the last year or so, I've been, continuing doing YouTube, but I've also been co-hosting retreats. Did one in Turkey, also one in Mexico, and it's so amazing. Like it really kind of fulfilled that desire within me to create a community, because I want to continue going down that direction versus just this lonely path now. And so I'm 31, and I'm lonely. I feel depressed, and all these other issues starting to come up. I really didn't want to make this video. In fact, it's probably one of the main reasons why I delayed uploading for so long, is because it's embarrassing to finally admit what you've been struggling with. It's like as soon as I arrived home in my environment, just my body and brain shut down. This old depression just, I guess, invited itself into my life again. It's like, yeah, I haven't really gone anywhere. It's pretty heart-wrenching because, sometimes you go through these struggles in life and then you like overcome it, and then you're so proud of yourself. And even with this channel, like a lot of you guys know that I have struggled with depression and addiction in the past. And I thought I had a pretty good grip of it. I don't know, it's like a crazy ex-girlfriend who you see at a coffee shop, and you go over and say hi, and then that one hi turns into her forcing her way back into your life, kind of thing. And all these symptoms have just been hitting me hard, right? Like waking up super late, like been going to bed at like 7, 8 in the morning. Wake up, Tommy. Time to seize the day. Or I can just snooze for the 10th time. Yeah, that sounds good. Good night. To get out of bed, it feels like an elephant is sitting on my chest. Like it's so overwhelmingly, I can't do it. Smoking again, which is really embarrassing because I've made videos on this channel so many times about quitting, and I've even helped people with this stuff. Who I want to be and who I actually am, there's just such a big dissonance. And I really want to be this guy, like so badly. Which is, disciplined, inspired, waking up with purpose, not dealing with this bullshit addiction, having actual control over my mind. And I've tried pretty much everything, right? I've tried all sorts of, like not lately, but just in my life in terms of addiction and depression and stuff. I've tried therapy, ayahuasca, all these psychedelic spiritual practices, meditation, a lot. Unconventional and conventional stuff. I tell you what it's like actually. I'm sure you played video games before, but especially RPGs, right? Where you create a character. Sometimes in certain games, it's like you get to like maybe halfway through, right? And then you realize that, oh, you know what, I fucked up. I put all the points in the wrong direction. I just didn't know how this game worked. Like, I'm gonna start again because I know how this game works. I want to like create a new character again and put the stats in the right place. That's how I feel. I want to like kind of start my character again because it's like all my bad habits that I've done throughout my life has been compounding with interest. It gets harder and harder to break out of these old patterns, and the older you get, the more your personality solidifies. And I'm 31, like I feel like I'm getting old. I'm nowhere near where I want to be in life. And it's upsetting, making less than minimum wage is very emasculating. I got married in November, so it's my first year of being a newlywed, and I feel like my wife is supporting me more than I'm supporting her. And it's sad. Like I feel weak and pathetic, and especially when I'm having control over my body and mind. It's like, because I know what to do, and we all do, right, to some certain extent, but I specifically know exactly what to do. Like, I have detailed plans. I tell my brain, like, all right, today we're gonna do this, this, and this. All right, Tom, let's do some work. Come on, you got this, buddy. Or, as much as work sounds really good right now, doesn't video games sound so much better? And for whatever reason, my brain and body just isn't complying, and then that leads into more shame and furthers the addiction, because the thing about addiction is that it's really just an escape from reality, right? It's to escape the pain. For whatever reason, I've just been in such a dark mindset, and it's like I'm turning more and more into a pessimist, and I don't like that. I really don't like that about myself. Even now, me making this video, I feel like just some weak-ass, pathetic little bitch making this, like, complaining about his life and his mental health issues, and yeah, but like, I feel like I just needed to get this off my chest, at least for my own sake. Sometimes you hear yourself talk and you realize how ridiculous you sound. There's been a lot of times where I've gone through similar stuff, and I noticed the best therapy, whatever you want to call it for me, is creative expression. And when I don't create, which I haven't opened up an email. Like, it was months before I even opened up an email, read a comment, uploaded a video, obviously, created anything. And it's not like I'm just like, you can just pause the game. The game has to keep going. It's like chess. There is no pausing. You have to make a move, even if you're not ready. Otherwise you lose. Speaking of, by the way, I've been so addicted to chess this last few months. I finally reached past the 1,000 ELO. It just honestly feels like I'm just self-sabotaging. Because I know deep down that I'm the only person in my way. I'm stopping myself from reaching this place of success and prosperity, something that I should have reached a long time ago. And of course, as you go down these dark rabbit holes, eventually you start to get desperate, because you want to heal. Like, I don't want to just sit here and suffer. But at the same time, we kind of just do it to ourselves until a certain point, until the suffering just gets too great. And then that's when you, like me right now, making this video, it's like, all right, I just got to, I'm actually in Vietnam right now, by the way, which I'll get into. We're all searching for some level of happiness and purpose. And I think, I don't know, my whole life I've never felt like I've belonged at home. I don't know if I've said this before, but I don't feel at home. It's like I'm in the wrong pot plant. Because there are certain plants that react better in a different environment. And that's what I kind of feel like. Like, as soon as I'm back home in Australia, whether it's just because of the culture differences, maybe it's because I have literally zero Australian, British or Irish blood, so it's just not part of my DNA to like really connect and feel at home like it's my family. I feel like I want to live in Latin America, like with my people. We've been in this huge transitory period of our life, and I'm 31, I'm married, and we're moving out of our home because we're going to temporarily live with my in-laws. And I don't want to do that, but it's like, everything's going so expensive, you know, the inflation, increased interest rates, and all this stuff, and I'm scouting, basically. Until I find a place that I really resonate with. And, you know, Yesenia's amazing, is that she would follow me everywhere. But if your mind is fucked up and your wife follows you, then she's going to end up going to a fucked up path. So what I need to do for me, myself, her, you guys, everyone, is to fix myself. Because honestly, I feel fucking broken. And I've been doing a lot of research, right? I don't know if I've talked about ADHD on this channel. I've always been biased against medication for most cases, right? Not in an absolute way, because I understand that human beings are complex and context matters. But anyways, I've been doing some research on ADHD for whatever reason. It's like explaining my life in a way that's like, wow, this makes sense. It's like finding the really significant piece of the puzzle that just connects everything. And it's like, oh. Okay, so assuming this is true, right? And I have clinical ADHD, depression and addiction is one of the main symptoms for it. And like, I don't, listen, I'll probably going to make this in a separate video, especially when I eventually get like a diagnosis and or treatment or whatever. Maybe that could be a whole journey, which is relevant to this channel, I guess. And so I'm 31, I'm married, and there's a lot of things I'm grateful for. But it's like no matter how many cold showers I have, gratitude journals I do, meditation, all this stuff, it's just, I just go back, right? I've been trying to run away from myself my whole life. And then my childhood persona is like, yeah, I didn't really go anywhere, you know? You kind of just put a mask on. I was just like in your blind side, that's all. And then I realized that, like, fuck, I think I might, I don't want to say this because then it makes it real, but I've struggled with liking myself, right? So I go to the doctor for this ADHD stuff to get a diagnosis, right? Because I want to be 100% sure. And I know, I'm pretty sure I've been diagnosed as a kid before, but my mum's crazy gypsy friend just took one look at the pill and just like, no, don't ever give your kid that, and just threw it in the bin. And for a long time I was like, oh, it's good she did that. Maybe I would have been fucked up from taking the pills. Or it could have completely fixed me as a human being. I could have been a working member of society and actually been happy and operate normally. Who knows, right? And because I hear for some people when they take medication, it's like putting on glasses for the first time. But anyways, listen, I'm not putting all my hope on this. Like, I'm sick of doing that. Putting, oh yeah, this is gonna work when there's so many factors. There's so much more to the human being than just a neurological imbalance. But I'm starting to suspect the more work I do on all these different fields, and because of these same issues appearing, I feel like maybe it could be something physical. Like, it literally could be that my brain is just fucked up. I need glasses to see properly. And that my whole life has just been an unnecessary struggle. Or it could be something else, right? It could be a spiritual solution. Before I go into the doctor's office, this like middle-aged, like late 30s kind of bogan lady, looks like she's been on something. Like, oh yeah, you know, one of those. She's like, I need help, please. I need to call the ambulance. I've just had a head-on collision with some dude, both on electric bikes. But one was just immobilized on the floor. I was like, yeah, of course, you know. Called the ambulance, answered their questions, waited with the guy I saw. He was just kind of like, yeah, it wasn't good. And as I'm waiting for the ambulance, I'm like, all right, let me go inside the doctor's office to ask for someone, a professional, to actually wait with them, because, you know, they know more about that than me. The receptionist asked the doctor, like, hey, could you mind going out there? And he's just like hell to the nah. I was like, oh, interesting. And so, you know, I went outside and waited with them, answered a few questions to the cops. The girl just disappeared. And I go back in, and the lady next to me was like, absolutely disgusting. They're supposed to sign a Hippocratic oath, you know? And the reason why I'm telling this story is because it leads into my frustration for the medical system, and that most doctors, they either don't care or they just don't know what they're doing. But I bite the bullet. I go to the doctor. I'm like, hey doc, I think I have ADHD. Can I get a diagnosis? And he goes, call this number. See you later. I go, oh, whoa, so personal. I'm like, all right, well, since I'm here, for me to actually go to the doctor, it's because I'm at the point, I'm at breaking point where it's like I don't know what else to do. That's why I'm here, doc. I need help. I was like, oh shit, since I'm here. Oh, by the way, I also have tinnitus. Like, well, what can I do about that? He's like, yeah, I know. You can go to call this auditory specialist. He might be able to diagnose you. And it's like, okay, what else? Oh, I've got a foot fungus. Can you like scrape and freeze it off? Like, you know, I want to do something. It's like, yeah. And I took off my sock. I hadn't had a shower that day. My foot was probably all stinky. I'm like, yeah, if I can scrape that off, mate. And I know I just brushed past the tinnitus, but that's like, because the last few months it was like a couple times a week, and now it's like 24/7. Like, it's more of a whether I'm paying attention to it or not. I've been just going through some shit, right? It's not just in my head, it's like physical as well. Or maybe it started all in my head and it's manifesting physically, I don't know. But all I know is that I just want to feel normal. Like, sometimes I wish I was just like a cattle, you know, like a cow, just eating grass its whole life. Psst, so what if I get shot in the head and used for food to feed humanity? At least I got just a simple life, you know what I mean? Not overthinking, none of this existential stuff. And Yeah, it's different because like, a few years ago when I went through my existential crisis, it was a very different type of depression, very spiritual, very focused on death and the nature of reality and existentialism and that dark night of the soul. Whereas this, I'm not stressed about death and all this kind of stuff, but that being said, I don't want to be in pain. I don't want to die of a disease. I don't know what I'd do if like my friends or my wife died. Like, fuck, that's horrible. So like, I don't think I'm completely at peace. I'm at peace with myself dying, but not everyone else kind of thing. But what I do know about myself is that my soul starts to die inside when I'm in a sterile, monotonous environment. I need change. It could be the ADHD, right? My stimulation levels are just at a much higher baseline than normal people, I guess. Depression is a contagious disease that brings down everybody it touches. It's a cruel entity that festers the more you feed it, and the more it festers, the tighter the prison cell you've created becomes. You've locked yourself in hell, and you have the key. But for some strange reason, you throw the key away and hibernate in the darkness. Your emotional body not allowing you to simply walk away, and feelings of weakness wash over, despair and hopelessness. I can't be changed, what's the point? I go through the same old cycle time and time again. Can I even change? Why do these traumas keep coming back to haunt me? Darkness walks beside me like a shadow. It starts to override my system. This bleeds into my social interactions, unconsciously spreading my pain. I don't want to spread this disease. I'm going to self-isolate for quarantine purposes until I heal. Months pass, it's getting worse. I haven't really seen anyone. I start pushing people out, burning bridges, opportunities dwindle. Feelings of worthlessness, guilt and shame about feeling bad, then feeling bad brings guilt and shame. Then I get angry because I'm a 31-year-old man allowing this bullshit to defeat me once again. When at this age I should have my shit more together, right? And so I get pissed off, right? And because at least anger, like Arnold Schwarzenegger said in Terminator 3, anger is more useful than the spear.
I'm no leader. I never was. I'm never gonna. Fuck you. You fucking machine.
Better. Anger is more useful than despair.
I'm not gonna end this video on a downer because I know, like logically, based on my past experiences with certain cycles, after the dark night of the soul comes, right? After the long dark winter comes spring. Anyways, we're gonna stop dwelling on this. I just really needed to express something. It's easy to share about your struggles when you've at least felt at the moment that you've overcome them. Whereas I'm in the middle of it. Maybe like not right at this moment, like it's not that bad. I'm in a warmer climate, not in the cold, brutal Melbourne winter. But I also know that this isn't, I can't escape forever. Like I am married. I would like to be able to do this with my wife and travel and continue doing retreats, and like I know what to do. All right, so before, I don't know, it can be very frustrating when you like open up about your struggles and then people know, instead of like acknowledging you or just wanting empathy, they just like try to just give you solutions, And sometimes I do want solutions, but it's like with the going to the doctor, right? And then with this ADHD, so I didn't even finish about the diagnosis because I called the psychiatrist and it's like not a part of the healthcare. Then you got to, it's like $3,000 to do the initial diagnosis and blah blah blah. So I'm like, I don't have $3K, man, to just get a diagnosis of something I already know I have. Like, it's bloody frustrating, man, because I've learnt that in Australia, like if you don't have money and you're struggling and you need medication, so what? That's it. So long. Good luck. I don't recall saying good luck. It's fucking brutal, man. And Big Pharma gets like so much taxpayers' money, and they're still making a killing in profit. I'm sorry. See, again, this is what I mean. It's like I don't know if it's just like the Polish in me, that pessimistic side, and then I got like my Latin side, which kind of breaks the ice and just laughs and makes jokes and stuff. So. Yes, it's a good balance, right? Like the only advice that I would appreciate actually, if anyone knows a cheap alternative or maybe somewhere I can talk to an affordable psychiatrist, preferably via online or video. And, I don't know. But knowing Australia, they're probably going to be like, nope, you can get your prescription if you got diagnosed in another country. Like, I bet you. So I'm in Vietnam right now. So yeah, I'm doing a Southeast Asia run. I'm in Saigon, Vietnam right now. My plan, because I want to continue doing retreats, but I also want to go out there and basically plan and design my own one, right? And to make it even like amazingly good, you know, and transformative and create a community. So basically I'm like traveling to, number one, scout, two, to get out of my Australian environment so I can just focus on working there. I might even go to Nepal, I'm thinking of. And of course, you know, making videos, I want to do some documentaries. Like in Nepal, I was thinking about doing a doco on the mad honey thing. I'm going to figure something out, we're going to do something cool. I just want you to know that I know I'm going to be okay, all right? And I will get through it. Forging your character can be a grueling process, but it is what it is. Anyways, get out of here. See you next time.